Welcome, friends, gamers, and other enthusiasts to the BoydofZINJ channel. I hope you enjoy your time here and the video. Please like, subscribe, do all the bell icons, and comment. It really does help small content creators like myself and others by doing so. If you click on the notifications, it may even let others and the YouTube gods know that they may enjoy these videos. With that being said, let's play. Baldur's Gate 3. Dungeons and Dragons Baldur's Gate 3 disclaimer alert. This is BoydofZINJ. This is a quick disclaimer. First of all, I'm a 50-year-old gentleman from Texas. I've been playing video games most of my life. I'm playing this on the PC. This is the PC footage version, and the footage captured will be from the PC and worked on the PC. With that being said, some quick history. Yes, I played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. I am playing Baldur's Gate 3. I did play the early access. However, I only played a few hours into it, and I quickly saw it was a good game. And this is when it first came on early access, give or take a few days. And I only played up to, I remember an owlbear, and I think it was trying to protect a cub. And likewise, I remember a village. It's been a while, and I believe there was talk about a druid that might be able to take the tadpole out of me. That's all the experience I have. I've seen the trailers. I've seen a few videos, but these are spoiler-free videos, mostly from the dev team talking about the game itself. But I've been trying to keep myself mostly spoil-free and avoiding storyline plots. I do know I have played the original Divinity Original since 1 and 2, and I do know that there are puzzles and plot twists and what have you, but I don't know what most of them are, if any. Again, this is a quick disclaimer. I hope you enjoy it. And I am playing with another group. We're playing a full co-op game. However, that group's a part-time group. And I suspect my solo adventures here will be faster than that group. I hope you enjoy. Thank you for staying and watching. Baldur's Gate 3, Episode 2. To recap, I'm playing a bard. A dragonborn bard who was born poor, has natural, tendencies towards good, but understands that good does not always work. Laws are there to help people, but laws can be corrupted. Nature is dangerous, but nature is fair and neutral. And is a little bit mischievous and a little bit greedy because of his background. He was kidnapped by mind flayers. Woke up on a ship, saw a tadpole enter someone else, and then a tadpole entered him. He somehow escaped through the ship, barely surviving a demon encounter. Crash landed, and something saved him from a fall that should have killed him. He woke up on the beach and found a cleric that he recently saved on the ship. Now the cleric and him have grouped up, and we're starting our adventures. This is the adventures of Bard, BoydofZINJ. What I'm first doing here is I'm just making sure that all of our reactions are set up. While most of the time you want to do your reactions, I like to be asked, because sometimes you may not want to react on a little person or a very specific person you want to react to. So you can only have one reaction per turn. So that's why I wanted to ask. And then I'm also rearranging my spells. This is future me. I'm doing a voiceover. If I had to do this over again, I probably would skip all this and do this later because I eventually find other companions, and I'm going to have to be redesigning this. The main reason I'm redesigning my abilities is I want to make sure that most of the abilities that are shared are in the same position, so that way I don't accidentally misclick in the heat of a battle when I have adrenaline up and I'm not. Even though it's turn-based, sometimes adrenaline, gets the better of you. And you don't want to make simple mistakes. And plus, I want to arrange it. You'll notice on my spells, cantrips are on top, defensive and healing spells are in the middle, and offensive and crowd control spells are towards the bottom. Cantrips are technically spells, but they're level 0 spells that don't require spell slots. Remember, you can only cast one spell per turn. Cantrips do not count.
No time to rest.
So, Healing Word, for instance, is a bonus spell. It's also a ranged healing. So you could cast a healing spell, and you still have an action. An action could be casting another spell, but since you already cast Healing Word, you can't cast the spell, but you can cast an offensive cantrip or just any old cantrip because cantrips are not considered spells. Likewise, you could do an attack or other action if you cast Healing Word because that's a bonus action. Just as an FYI.
Wits and blades always sharp.
Alright, so I'm just rearranging stuff and making sure everything, like I said, matches from left to right whenever possible and keeping them in some type of order so that way it makes logical sense to me. Hopefully you enjoy.
I'm ready.
As I rearrange my bars, this is boring, so I'm going to edit some of this out. Don't worry, I'm not cheating. Again, I'm not, I work for a living, so I'm not playing as much as I wish I could. I'm a 50-plus-year-old gentleman from Texas, and I'm staying away from videos and stories about Baldur's Gate for the most part. On these type of adventures, I tend to be pack rats and collect that much stuff, especially early on. Once you start getting money and once you start getting more experience, you more or less know what to pick up or what not to pick up. But early on, I tend to pick up everything, and if it appears to be junk, I'll sell it. Early on, a few gold coins makes a huge difference. Right now, we're broke, and we're going to need coins, I'm sure. Selecting the rapier. This character, if you notice, my strength isn't high, so you don't want strength-based weapons. And rapier is a finesse weapon, which means it uses dex instead of strength to calculate whether or not it hits. While technically a spellcaster, a bard is a mediocre to average melee person as well. I do wear light armor. It's an interesting spellcasting alternative. And I'm putting all the potions in the exact same area. So again, going back to that theory, I want most stuff to be in the same area, like-minded stuff. So that way, in the heat of battle, if I select a character, I'm not misclicking by accident. Even though it's turn-based, adrenaline can overtake you and you misclick and whoops, you wasted a turn or a valuable situation. And I'm just trying to do stuff and, accidentally misclick. I have played the Divinity Original Sins 1 and 2, and I have played Early Access one time when it first came out, so I do know that there's adventurers and people you could recruit on this first part of this island. And I remember something about a goblin and owlbear and its town, but that vaguely remember some of that stuff. So I just know that there'll eventually be other people to search, so I'm going to be looking for those people. And I know that on Divinity Original Sins 2, there's like waypoints as well. I like to put any useful items like scrolls, potions, on my hot bars. So that way I'm not fiddling around with my inventory in the heat of moments. I know it's turn-based, but adrenaline can kick in. I just want to make sure.
With haste.
Aha, crafting system. I don't remember this at all. This must be new. And doesn't look like I have enough to craft anything yet. Of course, I just started, so that's not surprising. Oh.
Fresh water. There must be a settlement somewhere nearby.
I'm ready. Whatever it takes.
I have a lot on my mind. Well, in it. Moving in.
I know I already have drones, but you know, I could sell a Nexus drone. Oh, interesting, interesting. I see here that there's a waypoint, I think, and a door. I don't remember where this door goes to. Yep, as I expected. Can I use it to teleport to the exact same area? No surprise there. I'm just exploring. I don't.
We get that open.
It's locked.
Maybe
I don't
there's
want
another entrance.
I don't want to force myself through there because I bet you there's combat or adventures. I want to find companions first. I want to probably try and get a full party, and I believe the full party is going to be a 4-man party.
More of those wretched things.
Ooh, a fancy hat. Let's see how I look. Oh yes, look at that bard. Look at that dragonborn. I look like a taco vendor. Yeah, I'm Hispanic, but let me tell you, it looks great on my dragonborn. I like it. Yeah, I like that hat. So I see that there's enemy mind flares. I'm going, even though you normally play in real time, you can switch to a turn-based system. That way, I can control what happens. I want to sneak up to these
Time to skulk about.
wonder what the
intellect
next move is.
devourers. They're
Off I
intellect
go.
devourer enemies, and I want to try and sneak up to them. Since I have range, I know you get a bonus to attack, being at a higher elevation than the enemy. So my first thought is to go high.
Oh, I should have worn better boots.
I
The gods are watching me.
I should have worn better boots. That's probably a good point. And you'll see me. Remember, I'm not trying to cheat. I'm not using console commands. I'm not using any mods. And if it does poorly, it just does poorly. And you'll see that my combat skills, I'm still newbie, and it does poorly. I probably should have just reloaded and tried again, but I went with it. Good luck. I'm going to do some quick editing to get closer to combat. Alright, with the magic and power of editing, I moved us a little forward this time. I'm deciding which, there's a few intellect devourers. I'm just taking a look and notice how we're both surprising them and we're higher elevation. And I decided to go with the cantrip burning spell. Maybe I should have done a melee attack.
Blood comes easy
Or a
these
ranged
days.
attack, I should say. Now the bard doesn't have any good cantrip attack spells. So I'm going to go with the ranged bow attack. A hand crossbow attack, I guess. I decided to go for the weaker one. Maybe I should go for the closer one. And I'm not sure if showing your back will make any difference. So I kind of waste a little turn to look at the enemy. And turn. Intellect devours doing massive damage to us. We're almost dead. But I press on. I'm going to take my chances.
Take two.
So I decide to heal, and I do a terrible heal. But again, healing word was a bonus action and a spell, so I could still do an action, and I was able to cast
my
a
luck
cantrip,
again.
which is technically not a spell, which is why you can cast a spell and a cantrip
Hope
on
your
the same
soul
turn.
is in good hands.
Bonus action, action. Doing the crossbow is an action as well.
Got to focus.
Another fight. Let's go.
There's nothing else I could do, so I just in my turn, I get hit, and because I was already hurt, I lose hit points. Now I could cast a spell to heal me. I could use a potion to heal me, but you could. There's also a help command, which is an action, which will get you up, but only get you up by 1 hit point.
Despite everything.
I believe that's a homebrew rule. I don't remember this in 5e, to be honest. And again, I'm not a 5e expert. I played the 5e a few times, Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't remember this. The intellect devour is smart. It goes underneath the cover, comes out, fires, and then goes underneath the cover again. Gets me back to 0 hit points. Just to let you know, when you're at 0 hit points, you're technically not dead yet. You're unconscious, and you make death save rolls. If you fail, then you die. If you pass, you get back to 1 hit points, and it takes 3 turns minimum. Of course, if you're pass fail, it could take up to 5. Because I used a help to get my bard up, the cleric has no actions, but does have healing word, because healing word is a bonus. So I could heal the bard if I want to with healing word. But now both my characters don't have an action. Luckily for me, the intellect devourer misses me. So now I can do actions with both my characters.
Still on my feet.
Luck, that miss was vital. Otherwise, I was been critical hit. That's good. Otherwise, I've been in this loop where I'm not doing anything until something happens. And again, I go down. And I use the help action. It's an action to get my bard up, but that means I can't attack. I'm trying to save spell slots for when I really need it. And maybe I should have used it because, you know, we're kind of failing this battle, but there's only one enemy left. And because I just got up, I don't have my full action. Luckily, the intellect devourer misses me, so I have an ability to, you know, I can now do actions. And yes, we even leveled. So I plan on taking my bard, pure bard, not multi-classing. So I'm going to say bard. And I like the spells I have already. I picked them, and I picked them for a reason. So I don't need to replace them. Because I leveled, I get access to an additional level 1 spell. I do like Bane. I do like Sleep. And Cure Wounds. I'm not a cleric, but bards can make decent healers. Not great, but decent. Sleep, I think, would be more useful. I need some type of offensive spell. And it'll be... The way how Sleep works is... When you cast that spell... The number of hit dice determines how many enemies can go to sleep based on their hit points. Oh boy, let me try to explain sleep a different way. On 5e, you roll 5d8, which the computer will do automatically in this video game. The total is the number of hit points of creatures this spell can affect, causing them to go into a magical slumber. Creatures within 20 feet of the point I choose are affected in the ascending order of their current hit points, ignoring already unconscious creatures. I hope that explains sleep much better than my first explanation. Alright, so I'm rearranging and putting sleep.
What am I to do?
And now I'm going to level the cleric. Clerics are good healers and support classes. I see here that this is actually a trickster cleric. Not optimal, but I'll take it. You know, I could see some uses for this character. Basically, this character can create an image like Loki, and is that type of cleric. It's a goofy one. And I was thinking maybe I should multi-class with this character, but again, a cleric is always useful in a class. And I'm looking at the class stats. They have high wisdom and mediocre strength and dex. So this is not a good frontline character, but will probably be towards the front line. And I noticed here that they have odd number strength and dex. So give me the opportunity when it reaches level 4 to put one more in wisdom to give them one extra spell slot and also bonus in their wisdom saving throws and spells. But also give them ability to either go dex base or strength based character. I'll probably go strength. The extra points. And I'm picking the different spells. Bane, I like having Bane. Cure Wounds, Healing Word. Now, early on, Healing Word's probably better, but I decided to, I think I picked Cure Wounds. Again, this is me from the future, so I kind of forget what I do sometimes. Yeah, Cure Wounds. Cure Wounds is a melee healing spell which heals slightly better than Healing Word. But the disadvantage is, one, you have to be in range. You have to be in melee range to cast on an ally. And two, it's an action versus a bonus action. Healing Word is bonus action. If the cleric had an extra spell slot, I would pick Healing Word as well. But I want some offensive and defensive spells as well. you notice I also have Bless and Guidance with this cleric. Those are good utility spells. And Bane's also very good because it affects creatures, it gives them a severe penalty on their offensive rolls, up to 3 enemies. So that could be really useful in a tight situation.
Let's try this way.
No time to rest. Don't waste a step. Better than nothing.
No time to dally.
I've got a long road ahead. Breathe deep and move.
What's next?
These things have stayed interesting. Wonder if the gods are watching me.
Please no spoilers, but I'm looking at this cove or this area, and I bet you there's a secret there. If I was the developers, I'll put secrets. And I see that, oh, there's a pod here, so maybe there's a companion. Oh yeah, there's a companion.
I've got one of those brain things.
Yeah,
called.
I recognize this from the trailer.
There, in the grass. You can kill it, can't you? Like you killed the others?
Let's see what happens. I debated 2, but I picked option 1.
There. Can you see it?
Just a dumb boar. You're relieved until you see the flash of a dagger.
Whoa. Number 2 sounds more something I would pick. This is robbery. Yep, that's something I would pick.
I just need information. I saw you scuttling about on the ship. You're in league with them, aren't you? Those tentacle... Ah!
Your mind twists. You're looking out of unfamiliar eyes, prowling dark, busy streets. You try to hold the memory, but it fades to the worm. The light, the fear.
What was that? What's going on? The worm. Of course. That explains things somewhat. And to think, I was ready to decorate the ground with your innards. Apologies.
Apology accepted. Good choice. I'm pretty sure this is a companion person, so I'm going to be kind of nice.
I'm out of wine and flowers, so I hope an introduction will suffice. My name's Astarion. I was in Baldur's Gate when those beasts snatched me. Is that so? We clearly move in different circles. So, do you know anything about these worms?
Yes, unfortunately, they'll turn us into mind flayers.
Turn us into...
Interesting
Of
laugh.
course it'll turn me into a monster.
Interesting.
What else did I expect? Although, it hasn't happened yet. If we can find an expert, someone that can control these things, there might still be time.
I need a third member, so I'm going to select option 2, ultimately speaking.
You know, I was ready to go this alone, but maybe sticking with the herd isn't such a bad idea. And you seem like a useful person to know. All right. I accept. Lead on.
Again, new companion. Of course, we just leveled, so the companion
Watch
leveled.
your back.
So let's take a look at the companion. Level up. Rogue, level 2. Aha. That makes sense. Now, melee people tend not to have very many options when they level the first 2 levels, so it's not like spellcasters. Rogue, I'm a bard, and a rogue basically does what a bard does, minus spells. Has probably a little bit more. The rogue probably has more melee attack abilities, but I'm a bard, so
No one's stopped me yet.
eventually I need to replace this rogue with another character.
Let's get on with it.
It's an interesting person, but not a good party person, in my opinion, because it's playing the same role I am.
All right, what now?
Again, I started finessing with the bars, and I noticed that I can even expand the bars one more, and I max it out so that way I'll future-proof the spells, because we're going to get spellcasters will tend to get a lot of spells, so might as well future-proof it now. This is the boring part. I'm going to fast forward it to the power of magic and editing. Wham! We're in the future. Oh look, there's a pig. It's yellow. Let's take a look into it. Alright. Animal handling. Let's see if I can do it. Let's add bonuses and see what happens.
The boar grunts and eyes you warily with its beady eyes.
I passed the pass roll, so I'm going to try option 2. Maybe I should have tried option 3, but again,
The
first
boar
playthrough.
shuffles its trotters, unsure. Then it dashes away into the wilderness.
Alright, if you're seeing this,
What path lies before
tell
me?
me what I did wrong in the comments. And now that I have an extra party member, like I said, this looks like an area that might have a secret, so let's explore it. You know what? I think this is a jumping puzzle. We have a jump command here somewhere. Yep. Monkey. Now, remember, this is a voiceover, so I already remember this. This rock, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. I
Grooves
passed.
in the mud around that rock.
a perception check, and I could do something, but I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with this rock. So I'm missing out on something. Please do not tell me what it is. You know, I can come back to this alcove later. I believe it is an alcove. So I don't want to be spoiled. So if you know what I'm doing wrong, don't mention it yet. Let me fiddle around with it. And once I leave this area completely, you can tell me later. Thank you.
There. A mind flayer. It's hurt.
That thing's bound to be dangerous, even if injured.
You
Disclaimer,
approach the
I
deadly
remember
monster.
this. I remember
This is the thing that abducted you.
You
You
can-
could end its life here and now, if only you didn't feel compassion. Compassion.
you can actually die from this. I remember this. But let's see if I can make some steps.
Yes, you feel hate. And you deserve to be punished for it.
Ooh, punished.
You should be whipped, made to bow before this creature in shame. It's possessing your mind, forcing you to love it, but then the feeling slips. The creature's mind seems to focus elsewhere.
Well, I'm not a mage, or I'm sorry, wizard, but I'll still go for an intelligence roll. I'll give myself guidance. Alright, I passed. I don't get eaten today.
Your minds fuse, lusting for something that is gone. But then its grip claws back with a vengeance, a vice locking your mind into obedience. It needs sustenance to survive, and with your very body you can provide.
I'm sure kissing the mind flare would be wonders to my health. So I picked the other option. And I almost failed. Luckily, I have some help. Holy cow. I haven't saved it, so it would be interesting to see what would
The
happen.
monster lies exhausted, defeated. Its eyes, wet orange pearls, radiate malice.
I debate option 2, but I go for option 1.
Monster. Death is too good for it.
A long way to go still.
Still alive. So that's progress. Need to find a way forward.
Dead goblins over there. Worth checking for supplies, maybe.
Trust no one.
Let's get going. Swift as my feet can carry me. What's going on with that?
approach the sigil on the stone. Magic glitters and swirls from it erratically, as if malfunctioning. It looks slightly dangerous.
I do not remember this.
A hand?
Yep, that's a hand. I almost pick option 2, but I decided number 4 would be the best one. This is probably a wizard that I could recruit. I'm guessing, but I don't remember. But I'm guessing. And look how easy it is. They almost like they want you to pass this. And wham, I pass.
Whatever you're doing is working wonders. Now a quick little pull should do the trick. Hello. I'm Gale of Waterdeep. Apologies. I'm usually better at this. At magic. Say, but I know you, don't I? In a manner of speaking. You were on the Norse Lloyd as well. I don't know what transpired exactly, but the ship broke into pieces and I suddenly found myself in freefall. As I was plummeting to certain death, I spied a glimmer quite near where I estimated my body to impact with less than savory propulsion. Recognizing this glimmer to be magical in nature, I reached out to it with a weaving of words and found myself on the other side, as it were. How about you? How did you survive the fall?
Looks like a wizard, but sounds like a bard almost. I think number 2 is a good option. I landed safely.
That vast burning wreckage behind you somewhat contradicts your story, but here you stand. So who am I to argue?
That's right.
Still, swashbuckling heroics aside, I have the unfortunate suspicion your survival is still very much in jeopardy. Back on the ship, you too were on the receiving end of a rather unwelcome insursion in the ocular region. Were you not?
Go on. I'm going to pick option 1.
The insertee we speak of, this parasite, are you aware that after a period of excruciating gestation, it will turn us into mind flayers? It's a process known as ceramorphosis, and let me assure you, it is to be avoided. You don't happen to be a cleric by any chance, do you? A doctor? Surgeon? Uncannily adroit with a knitting needle?
You seem to know enough about our condition to realize it's beyond most clerics' skills.
Most, no doubt, but I find myself hoping to be in the presence of the few. You don't happen to be one of them.
Nope. Option 3 is the best one. So I have to select option 3.
As we've established, few enough can. It's not exactly a common affliction.
That's
We're
true.
most certainly going to need a healer, and soon, too. How about we lend each other a helping hand once more and look for a healer together?
Yep, a companion. So I'm going to obviously select option 1.
Most excellent.
I'm looking for a good wizard.
Parasite shared is a parasite halved.
Let's level
Something
this
to that
character
effect.
up.
Oh, but before you think you're about to embark on a journey with most ill-mannered a man, thank you for pulling me out of that stone. It was an act of foresighted kindness, I assure you. For I have the feeling ample opportunities will present themselves for me to return the favor. The air is ripe with magic. not as bad as it could have. Let me work my magic.
So wizards are a goofy lot. They need high intelligence, which this character has high intelligence, good con, and decent dex. So this wizard is a good wizard. I don't see any need to multi-class this character. You know, it's hard to multi-class a high int character with another class, right? I'm just looking at the different options. I get to pick a subclass. I'm probably going to go DPS, so Evoker makes the obvious choice, but I'm looking at each one, see what they do. Maybe I might be changed, you know, maybe they'll persuade me to pick a different subclass, but I'm probably going to go with Evocation. There's nothing else that really strikes. Maybe Necromancy was a close second. All right, Evocation is it. Time to pick the spells. Burning Hands is good AoE DPS, so I'm probably going to select that. Chromatic Orb is also pretty good too. I'm highly debating about that. Magic Missile is also good too. The one nice thing about Magic Missile is it always hits and can even hit people around targets. The bad thing is it doesn't do great DPS, and the DPS seems to falter more levels you get. So I'm picking the spells I would want for this wizard. I mentioned earlier I like Burning Hands. It's a good AoE damage spell. Thunder Wave is also good spell. It does some damage, but also pushes enemies back and away from the mage. Mage isn't a frontline person. There's Magic Missile. And I'm also getting the reaction shield spell, so that way if the person gets hit, they can possibly cast that as a reaction and avoid getting damage. And the last spell, Mage Armor. That's what it is. Not shield, it's Mage Armor. Sorry, it's been a while. And then I'm debating about Sleep and Fog Cloud, because I kind of need some AoE spells, AoE crowd control spells. But not getting damage is also useful. The last spell I selected was Grease. Grease is also could be used for crowd control, but you could also turn it offensively by applying fire to it, and it will cause damage to an area. So it serves two purposes, which is something I like, utility. Now, of course, I'm going to fiddle with the arrangement of the bars. I'm going to edit this out because this is the boring part and fast forward this a little bit. With the power of magic, here we go. I snapped. I hope you heard that. There you go. Cue snapping. Alright, with the powers and magic of editing, here we go. Continue our adventures. I'm searching around. And I'm thinking, oh look, there's an item we found. The rogue is the only person I would replace at this point. We kind of need a fighter or some type of shield and board character. Barbarian, paladin, something. Then I noticed, hey, I saw some people. But before we go to those yellow people, I'm looking around. And there'll be a cutscene soon, so I'll be quiet.
Don't mind
You
if I
think
do.
it's dangerous?
Of course, Zoru was right.
I was trying to
Yellow
pickpocket,
as a
but
toad,
it goofed.
twice as ugly.
Oh well.
The thing's dangerous. Leave it for the goblins to kill.
And if it escapes, how will you... Oh, a guest.
Your skull pounds in response to the prisoner's white-hot stare. Her lips don't move, yet you hear her voice.
Get rid
I
of
made a tactical mistake. I'm supposed to have my bard as the face person, but I have a cleric. But I'm still going to try the deception, option 4. Even with the -1, I still passed. Outstanding.
She's right. Let's go. We need to check out that blast. You didn't hear it. Shook our camp good, so we came for a look.
Unfortunately, the cleric's currently the lead. There's no way for me to take over. So I'm going to go for it. And luckily, it's only a 5. Ooh. The RNG gods are with me.
Northwest. Look for Nettie. Whatever your wound, she can mend it.
And
you-
be careful.
Oh.
There are goblin traps everywhere.
Nymessa, come.
Truth be said, I'm not even sure why the cleric was in the lead.
Enough
I could have
talking.
swore
Get me down.
my guard was in the lead, but oh well. I meant to do 1, but 2 just sounded funnier.
Never.
No one's stopped me yet.
Observe and listen.
Enough talk.
You'll hear
Questionable intellect. Unsurprising.
Release me, or enjoy a future as Geich. Mind flayers. The atrocities we are becoming. I know a remedy. Release me and I will share it.
Now, I notice I'm in control of the bard, but yet the cleric was talking, or was the face. I'm not sure why. I think this was an actual bug glitch in the game. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my assessment of this, because I think that has armor class and looks prettier, so I'm selecting that for my bard. I think my bard should have been the face during that conversation. Not that it mattered, luckily. The reason I'm moving most of the rogue stuff to the bard is I plan on switching the rogue for
Blood.
the
No,
fighter.
never mind.
Because if I remember correctly, this person's a fighter. Now, this is
You
where
try my patience.
I fiddle around and I can't figure out how to release her until I decide, oh, let me right click and choose the open option. I'm going to edit this out because this is going to be kind of boring seeing me just ponder for like the next 5 minutes trying to figure out, casting spells, doing stuff, trying to figure out if I'm supposed to break the rope or whatever.
Never wanted the easy path.
So with the power of magic and editing,
Enough dawdling. Get me down.
The tadpole hasn't yet scrambled all your senses. Auspicious.
But the longer we wait, the more it consumes. My people possess the cure for this infection. I must find a creche. You will join me.
Careful. She obviously sees your kindness as weakness. Don't let her take advantage.
I don't know what a crash is either, so I'm going to select option 1. I don't remember this at all, and I'm not looking at YouTube videos for lore or anything else.
It is many things.
And was a big Mind
A
Flayer
training
fan.
grounds, a shelter. Githyanki protocol is clear. When infected with a Gaith tadpole, we must report to Augustil for purification.
Select option 1.
A pity that. I made an offer and you accepted. Your fantasy is not my burden.
I want her in my party, so I'm going to select option 2. But then I find out I
You
need
are
to
full up. Dismiss your weakest warrior.
go to the camp to do so.
Very well.
So I select option 1 again.
But heed my words. The Horned Ones mentioned a camp. One there, this Zoru, has seen Githyanki. A crash must be near. I must interrogate this Zoru. Our very lives depend on it. I will be at your camp. Do not keep me waiting.
Right, what now?
I am enjoying the latest addition to our little group. Lae'zel is delightful. In a very look at me twice and I'll dismember you kind of way, of course. Oh, darling, I'm hurt. I thought we had something special. Well, you know where to find me.
The character I like, but obviously I want a fighter. And that person does not make a good fighter or a frontline person. So I went to camp. And I'm going to request the fighter to be my group.
I expect I am your first.
And it's true. I don't recognize this in classic D&D 5e. So this is my first, truly.
I suppose I am as alien to you as you are to me. I know of your kind, but I do not often encounter them. Those diminutive scales of yours look like mistakes. It was an observation, not a compliment. No matter. I do not intend to stay long in this place. I understand much beyond your comprehension. More to the point, I know the cure for our condition. It is imperative we locate a creche. You do well to observe more and question less. Yes, in great detail. It starts with a fever and memory loss. Then you start to hallucinate. Your hair falls out, and you bleed from every orifice. Your bones will change form. Your jaw will split to allow room for 4 great tentacles. All skin will turn to gore and be shed to reveal new flesh underneath. Then you have ceased to exist, and a mind flayer is born. That shiver betrays your fear. Suppress it. It is useless. We must find my kind and be rid of the parasite. It's as simple as that. The first symptoms should have long since started, though. That is what puzzles me. Yes, if you give it no further thought. But anomalies lead to surprises. Bad surprises. Besides, what hasn't happened may yet come to pass. It is done.
All right, folks, this is where I'm going to end this episode. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to be playing with the inventory, so when we continue the episode, it'll be just a wee bit further than this, but just a wee bit. I'll continue up, basically from this point, minus me arranging, some articles of clothing, playing with the inventory, the boring stuff you don't want to see. I do nothing important other than I'm just playing around with the inventory, trying different outfits on. Nothing you got to see. And yes, I think my bard is a quote unquote pretty boy because high charisma, and that's the way I'm rolling with it. Sarcastic pretty boy who is a little greedy and came from the slums, so is thinking about money, likes laws, but knows most politicians and laws are corrupt. Thinks nature is dangerous but fair and neutral, and wants to do more good than bad, and wants to get rid of course, the tadpole in his or her in his head, the dragonborn's head. All right, until next time. I hope you, if you have any comments, let me know. Again, no spoilers, no future spoilers. Thank you. And I know there's that alcove you need to figure out. I'll, if you know the answer, don't tell it to me yet. Please, no spoilers. Thank you, folks. It's that time of the video where I'd say adios. Thank you for watching. And if you're hearing this, I really like to say thank you for staying at least this long or skipping to the end. I really appreciate it. Better yet, the YouTube gods seem to enjoy it. Please like, subscribe, click on the bell icon to notification alerts. It really does help content creators like myself. I need the help. If you have any suggestions about my YouTube content or my channel or about this video, I'd love to hear it. Please leave a comment. Regardless, I'd like to thank you for watching. Stay safe, be entertained, enjoy life, and until next time, adios, goodbye. Hope your RNG is better than mine. Thank you.
All hands, initiate shutdown sequence.